views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
This is Steve Sanson, Lino Castro, Veterans in Politics. Jim Jonas won't be with us today. He had a fight with some furniture, and the furniture won. So that's
Poor
that.
Jim.
It's always something with Jim.
But you have me here.
True, I do. I mean, I can't wish for anybody better than you. I'll tell you that right now. You have any rants? Any rants? Where the fuck is this guy coming from?
Ooh.
That voice we keep hearing. It's
Oh.
not sitting at the table. It's not sitting at the table with us.
John is out of the studio.
So
Rants. You know what?
but before I say the rants, I just want to say we're going to have a very excited guest today. A whole hour of Thomas James Knickmeyer, who's a former courtroom deputy court marshal in the Regional Justice Center and the Family Court. So there.
That's exciting. I can't wait to hear. So I haven't been on the show since the election.
I know.
And how do you like that blue wave?
I don't know. I think John had a lot to do with that.
It's John's fault, I know.
I know.
All those people he told me to vote for.
Oh, so is that what happened? You just vote aimlessly?
No.
You know, I called up every single candidate, and the way I normally do it, when they first file, I send letters to all the candidates that ran unopposed, congratulating them on their win.
Okay.
And then if a candidate wins in the primary, 51 plus, I call them up, congratulate them, and then I call up all the candidates in the general.
Right.
Even if I don't like them, I still
And?
call them up and congratulate them.
Did you get the phone hung up on you?
No.
They listened?
Yeah.
All of them?
No, I got some voicemail.
Okay.
I left voicemails, but
All right.
nobody hung up the phone.
The ones that did answer? That's good.
So Democrats, Republicans alike. So just wanted to put that out there.
So here's a question, because I got into a little bit debate with this whole Dennis Hoff, how he won 61% of the vote or whatever it was. So who gets to elect him? I know he's a dead man, so he can't really represent the people of Nye County. So who?
Nye County Commissioners.
It is, so it's not the governor, because that's what I said. I'm like, no, it's not the governor, it's the people in Nye County.
Although the governor is gonna find his replacement for the county commission, though.
Was he on the county commission?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
So he's gonna find his replacement. So.
Is it the chick that ran against him?
I doubt it.
No?
No.
Oh, she's not in the in
I
crowd
don't
with the
think
Dems?
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think so.
Oh, okay. So that's how it does work. Okay,
No,
good.
You talking about Chris June Kiliani? She's
No,
already
no.
Who? What chick ran against him?
The one who ran against Dennis Hoff in the...
Oh, no, I switched up. I went right to Steve Sisolak.
Oh, I'm so confused. No, I thought you were talking about Dennis Hoff was on the county. That's why it's like he was on the county commission night.
I moved on. See, you got to catch up.
So Steve gets to a point...
Exactly, yes, yeah.
Because nobody ran in his...
No, he's leaving the county commission for governor. So he's vacating the seat, and he's going to get to appoint somebody.
What? How is that legal? Wait a minute. I thought if you're stepping your game up to the next level, that the people have to vote for your replacement.
He's not resigning from the county commission until...
So what if he lost? What if he lost and he'd still just be county commissioner?
Yeah, he'll still be there.
Because his seat isn't up until...
I think it's 2020. I'm not positive.
Oh, I see. He did it at the right time.
Yeah, 2020.
Okay.
So he still got another 2 years.
Good to know. Is he going to be a good governor?
Well, we're going to see. Yeah.
Can we at least say no increase in property taxes? That SJR 44 whatever bill that some people...
You could write him. All I know is that I want to be on the Nevada Judicial Disciplinary Committee.
Will they allow you?
Two layperson.
You are a layman.
I am. I lay down all the time. So you have any rants?
Not really. I haven't really been paying attention to what's going on here locally. I mean, I understand the whole Jim Acosta and Trump and him kicking him out.
You know, speaking of Jim Acosta, is this the
Yeah.
one that he wants to succeed Sessions for AG?
He
Right?
does?
Right? Yeah.
No. He's the reporter, the CNN
Oh, the reporter.
reporter.
Well, who's the one? Whitaker. Was it Whitaker the one he wanted to succeed?
Yes.
Yeah, Whitaker. So
The voice of God.
Yes. Doesn't he have to go through a whole? Trump has to go through a whole Senate commission with him before
Yes,
he
right?
can actually
I think so.
be in Nevada Attorney General.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. I thought that's how it's supposed to go.
Not
Anyways.
not the Nevada Attorney General.
No,
the U.S.
U.S.
Attorney General.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
I had a long night last night.
I can tell you were hungover. I'm just playing. You don't even drink.
I'm not hangover.
No.
I'm fun over.
Do you have rants?
No, I'm good.
And the governor is getting married.
Really?
The governor-elect,
Who's he marrying?
the same lady he's been with for 5 years. At least that's what the newspapers say. You didn't read that report?
No, I didn't catch that one.
Oh, he's getting married.
I didn't get an invite.
Well, maybe it's just they just announced their engagement. They haven't
Okay.
even done the wedding, set the wedding date yet.
All right, well, let's take a commercial break, and we're gonna come back with our guest, Thomas James Knickmeyer, former Clark County Courthouse Deputy Marshal. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, this is Jim Jonas, host of Veterans in Politics. We are a video and internet radio show, live every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on worldwide digital broadcasting television. Our mission is to educate, organize, and awaken our veterans and their families to select, support, and intelligently vote for those candidates whom would help create a better world to protect ourselves from our own governments in a culture of corruption, and to be the political voice for those in other groups who do not have one. So listen to us live every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on worldwide digital broadcasting television. Or if you miss that opportunity, it's okay. You can listen and watch our archive broadcast by going to www.www.dbtv.com, or simply Google Veterans in Politics and it will link you right over. It will also give you a list of our upcoming shows, so you can do some research and call in to ask questions. The number is 702-685-8380. If you truly want to be informed and make educated voting decisions, Veterans in Politics is the place to go. We are nonpartisan, have no agenda but to help you get the information you need to make an educated voting decision. Remember, the person who doesn't educate themselves and exercise their right to vote is only adding to corruption in government. Don't be that person. Listen every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. to Veterans in Politics. For more information regarding VIPI, visit www.veteransinpolitics.org.
We're back. This is Steve Sanson, Lena Ocasio, Veterans in Politics. We're here with TJ
AKA Tom.
Knickmeyer, who's the former courtroom deputy marshal with the Regional Justice Center 8 Judicial District Court. Tom, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about you.
Well, last time I was here, I did a lot of telling about me.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
kind of boring.
You got an hour.
I got an hour. Where do you want me to start?
Where you're from?
When you were born.
Well, I was born and raised in Chicago.
I was born in East LA.
No, worse, Chicago. And I joined the Navy at 17,
Thank you for your
Thank
service.
you.
right?
You sit next to an Air Force, though.
Really?
I'm an Air Force vet.
Oh,
Airman.
you had it made.
They had toilets in the field. And toilet paper, Charmin's, I believe.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And we had the wipes too.
And the damn wipes. I thought they were going to get a bidet, but I thought that was probably pushing it.
No, that's the French Army.
Oh.
Or that's the French Air Force.
French Air
Yeah.
Force. Go ahead, Tom.
After I left the service, I got married at a young age, had a couple daughters, hopped around from job to job in the hospitality industry, did some side work here and there.
What kind of side work? Hitman?
Yeah, wet work especially. No, just landscaping, painting, carpentry, stuff
No
like that.
garbage disposal, right?
No, I did some janitorial work. You know,
I was talking about, cutting up the bodies,
Just-
putting them in the landfill, giving them cement shoes.
I know
put them in the
people
ocean.
that, well, not personally know people, but I've heard of people who have done that and kind of translated out the early days of Las Vegas where people would wind up
In the desert.
yeah.
Desert. So
Yeah.
you know where some bodies are buried then, huh?
Yeah. They were watching the submarine races out of Lake Mead, so it's just,
Okay.
But after that, unfortunately, I got divorced from my first wife after 7 years, and
7-year itch, huh?
yeah, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. I had a couple of those.
Yeah, and
Did you even make it to 7?
that's when I came out to Las Vegas,
Right.
and
Starting
first
7
night, yeah, first night I hit a jackpot. And I said, "Oh, this is my."
Wow. how
Did
much-
you really?
Oh, it was only a couple hundred, but back then.
Oh, yeah.
What was this in the 80s or 90s? I don't know when.
She says this is in the 80s.
I'm an 80s baby, but you guys are older.
I would say late 80s.
See? Don't be a
Late
hater.
Late 80s.
Yeah. So from there I went from here I went to San Diego,
Right.
spent some time with my father who lived out there, came back here. Then went back to Chicago for a couple years.
You missed
Met
the
my-
breeze. They call it the Windy City. So you missed
Yes,
the
yes.
breeze,
No,
yes.
You missed the snow?
what I missed was my two daughters. that I
Oh,
had.
okay.
So I went back there for a couple of years and met my current wife, Karen.
You didn't have to go through that family court system in Chicago, did you?
No,
Oh,
not at
okay.
all, not at all.
All right.
Family courts back then didn't have the controls over people's lives as they do today.
Yeah.
Today if you do something, if you're considered a deadbeat dad, you lose your license, you go to jail, you get your,
Yeah, like you're going to make money in jail.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, I came back out here with a girl I met in Chicago. Her name's Karen, and we got married. I just surprised her and asked her to marry me. Went down to the little white chapel,
You dropped
where
to one
Michael
knee?
Jordan got married.
Did you drop
Nice.
to one knee?
No, we
Two
were.
knees. You didn't drop the 2 knees? You didn't drop
No,
the
it was a stand up over the kitchen sink will you marry me kind of
Aw, that's still sweet.
thing. I'm not.
sentimental like that?
I wouldn't call it sentimental. It was just a spur thing. Spur.
Just wanted to get it out the way.
Just
Huh? It was in your to-do list for the day?
right. So
Check.
yeah.
Ask Catherine to marry. Check.
So
Didn't have a ring. Check.
Karen, not
Karen.
Catherine.
right. No engagement ring. We just.
No one gets, see? Yeah, Reynolds rap.
We just
Reynolds
no
rap.
because after I proposed, we
When?
went straight down to the chapel and
Oh, you didn't wait.
we did it the same day.
Oh, wow. I
You're
like
very
that.
patient, huh?
Like I said, it was a spur of the moment thing, and
At least she said yes.
True.
oh yeah, she wouldn't. I was dragging behind my leg. No, I'm just kidding. She's a very special woman, and she's brought a lot to my life,
Okay.
including 2 sons that I'm very proud of.
Wow.
Oh,
You
wow.
got 4 kids.
Yes,
So you started a whole new family.
right. My youngest son, stationed in Pearl Harbor. He's
Okay.
Navy corpsman, works on the Marine Corps side.
We love the corpsman. Yeah.
And my other son is working with the National Guard out here in Northtown.
Okay.
And he just moved out of the house. So we got this
So
big
you're
house.
empty nesters now?
Yes.
You know, my Elvis is in the National Guard.
Yeah. That's good.
They probably know each other. Never know.
If he's out in North Town,
Yeah.
they probably do. I'll ask him
Yeah.
next time he comes over to,
Okay.
play with his dog
Okay.
that I'm paying for.
Watch.
Anyways.
All right. That's another story. Okay.
Yeah. And then, I had some on-net jobs here in town, and I
You
decided
met some nut jobs? What was it?
odd and end.
Oh, odd and jobs. My hearing is.
I know, that happens with age. So, anyway.
I thought it was the loud music from last night, but.
It could be it, the way they play the music these days. Then, the main reason I came back
You
from
missed us.
Chicago
Oh.
was to apply for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
So what happened with that?
Well, I applied, and the first time didn't make it. Got through the process.
Who was the sheriff at that time? Blam?
No.
Keller?
Keller.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have the ID card that he issued me.
Okay. So he didn't like you. He just said, no, you can't be part of our team.
Yeah, something
Basically.
like that. Yeah, it was the background investigators. They'd rather hire people like Mortensen. You know who Mortensen is. That bozo who did a drive-by, storm time up in Ohio. Anyways.
They'd rather hire him than somebody that's served this country and have work ethics.
A stand-up guy.
Stand-up guy. Why did they hire you anyway?
They don't tell you. They don't tell
just
you. They
say
say
no.
you were disqualified or you didn't pass this.
Was it the psychological evaluation?
No.
Was it the physical?
I didn't get that cycle. I passed the orals and everything else, and I can't really recall the first time because I applied twice.
So this was in the early 90s, mid 90s?
Right.
Okay.
So at the time, my wife, she got a job with Justice Court.
Okay.
And she worked for the court administrator at the time in Justice Court, who was a pretty good guy. And, I kind of made it known that I wanted to get into law enforcement.
Right.
And I was told, if you go and get the right credentials, that if you get post category 2,
Right.
you will be eligible to come in, and start as a part-timer.
Marshals.
No, as a deputy sheriff.
Deputy sheriff.
Bailiff.
Bailiff. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was bailiff back then. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were county employees working for the courts. After that, since I spent 18 months as a part-timer, I put myself through the academy,
Right.
made myself qualified to get the job, and I was lucky enough. Russ Eaton was his name, good guy.
Right.
He gave me my shot. And I got passed over a few times for full-time employment, but you're talking about retired officers with 20, 30 years of experience, and it's kind of hard to overcome that.
Right.
You're just, all you got to your name was a
Navy.
post certificate.
Yeah, and just being in the Navy.
Yeah.
If you were in the Marine Corps, they would have just
different.
scoped you up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. You're all kind of robots.
Those Marines.
There's 2 Marines in the studio, just to let you know.
Well, devil dogs.
The voice of God.
And, I got passed over, and I was really getting disheartened about the whole situation.
Right.
But everything happens for a reason.
True.
And at the time, there was an opening in District Court, Department 14, Judge Donald Mosley.
Right.
His longtime bailiff that came with him from Muni Court when he was a Muni Court judge had some illnesses and he had to retire.
Right.
So, I made the request and he put me on temporarily to see if I worked out. And he kept me in a full-time temporary status for 6 months. And then he made me his official, full-time bailiff.
Did you have a party or anything like that?
No, I had a baby.
Oh.
And my first son.
Wow.
Yeah. She, my wife, and I.
Okay.
Can you explain for us younger people what exactly, what is your role as the bailiff? I mean, I've been in courtrooms and you just sit there and kind of keep the peace and make sure no one goes crazy, or what are your responsibilities or duties?
It depends on what court you're working, whether it's justice court or district court or a specialty court. You know, they got so many specialty courts now, but it's basically the same. You have to keep the decorum of the courtroom. You have to make sure that the staff is safe. What I refer to as customers, whether they're defendants or witnesses or jury members, they're customers of the county, okay? And they're treated accordingly.
They gotta follow canon rules, correct?
That's the judges. Okay. And when I got to the district court level, and in justice court, they only did prelims and arraignments.
Okay.
So when they were bound over, they'd go over to district court, and then they go through the whole process of arraignments and.
But don't you guys have a code of ethics that you follow, or you know, what you can or can't do with litigants?
Well, you treat everybody the same.
Okay.
I mean,
And you were post certified, correct?
right.
Okay.
Yes, right. And
So you would be considered what, a law enforcement?
I'm a Category 2 peace officer in the state of Nevada.
Law enforcement.
Correct.
And what's the definition of law enforcement or Category 2 peace officer?
It's the number of hours of training you have. And that's the minimum amount to get in at that time in the NRS to become a peace officer.
I guess what I mean is, are you in the same footing with LVMPD or?
Later on, I went to an upgrade academy, which gave me the
power to arrest?
Oh, I had that with the Category 2, but when I went to the upgrade academy, I got the extra hours I needed because it's the hours in the curriculum that you have to go through to be a Category 1 officer, which allows you to, you know, if you want to go out on patrol, which we never did, but some people up in the legislature wanted the bailiffs to become Category 1 officers.
Okay.
And I did too. You know, I always sought out training. A lot of it out with my own initiative, my own money, my own time.
Right.
And even the upgrade academy, I did have to work on my own time. They didn't pay me overtime, nothing. And
Why'd you do that?
just for the training.
Okay.
Just to become
You just
better,
wanted to improve
become
your-
better at my job. You know, learn things that possibly that I didn't learn from my Category 2, my Category 2 days. And yeah, you know, it was quite an experience being, you know, the whole upgrade thing. But on the district court level, at the time in the old courthouse, we did arraignments, I forgot. They stopped doing arraignments when we got to the new building. They have a hearing master to do that down in the basement.
In the basement.
In the basement of the RJC.
Is there a tunnel from the detention center to the courthouse, underground tunnel? Yeah.
At the old courthouse and the new one. Yeah,
so
direct.
When you say the old courthouse, is that the one where the Mom Museum is?
No, the old courthouse.
Isn't that the old courthouse?
No,
No, it was the old post office
The
building.
old courthouse was
Which one's that
bought
one?
out by the owner of D's.
The Hotel Casino?
Hotel Casino, and now they leveled the whole thing, and they have
So it doesn't even
concerts out there.
They made it an entertainment center.
No, it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Yeah,
I used
it's
to
right
go to
next to
the
the
old
Bridger
courthouse,
building down there. Yeah.
Okay.
That was an old building.
Old
I mean, they used to have it.
Good times in there.
Oh yeah, good times. They used to have inmates belly chained. You know, they would be walking back in the chamber areas to get to the courtroom. Now it's totally different. They have an elevator that takes them up, and they're nowhere.
But a lot of
near
people don't-
public or the personal staff.
A lot of people don't know about those underground tunnels from the jail.
I didn't know that they had
There's
that.
nothing notorious or nefarious about them. That's what they use to transfer.
But people don't know about them.
You don't want a bunch of them, you know,
Walking across the street?
cross the street, and all of a sudden here comes a bus, and somebody runs one of these defendants over,
You were saying
And
something
then-
else, weren't you?
and then the county and the sheriff is liable for whatever happens
Because they're
while
under
in
their custody,
They're in their
okay.
custody. So,
Okay.
but we had motion calendars, and we did jury trials, hundreds and hundreds of criminal jury trials.
Right.
From
Have your life ever been threatened?
Oh, yeah. Threatened, I've been spit on, I've been called every name in the book, my sexual, I've been called, you know, worse words than gay. I don't know how else to express that.
Worse words than gay.
You know, I don't want to use the word, so.
So in district court, it's all criminal. There's no civil?
No, we had some civil trials.
Oh, okay.
You know, but Judge Mosley was considered the hanging.
They used to call him the hanging judge.
Why? To hang them?
Because
You go in there, you better know your shit.
Meaning your attorney better know your...
Yeah, the attorney better know his shit or her shit.
Because-
Prosecution better know their shit.
Because
Yeah.
he would rule...
Oh.
No, it wasn't a matter of, he was a very fair judge.
He was fair.
The only thing he didn't like was being lied to.
Lied to.
Oh, I see. Well, that's
Because he
good.
did-
He should go to family court. Is he still alive?
He did extensive research on every case.
That's good. That's what judges should do. What? I heard district courts did for the
and he
family.
had this thing, you know, when he sentenced somebody, it's like, you got a one-time deal. You mess this up, you're
Yeah,
done.
Judge Mosley doesn't like me right now because we supported Cynthia Dustin Cruz for Justice of the Peace against Judge
Jensen.
William Jensen, and he was in favor of Jensen because we accused Jensen of falling asleep
Well,
behind the bench.
Oh, he
They-
did?
On the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use technology.
I don't think that's the actual reason. He always supported the incumbents.
Yeah.
No matter, you know.
No
what the
matter.
issue.
Yeah, he doesn't think that anybody should run against a judge, basically.
Well, Judge
He did
Jensen-
tell me that.
You know,
He
Judge,
did?
I've worked for Judge Jensen in Justice Court. He's a fine man. And
He is. He just,
he's an ex-FBI agent, too.
yeah, he just fell asleep on the bench sometimes.
Just preferred the other candidate over him. But I mean,
I was there one time when he didn't.
You know, when you get up there in years and you hear the same repetitive bullshit.
Well, you know what Clint Eastwood says? You know what Clint Eastwood says?
He says a lot,
A
but
man's gotta know his limitations. So when you know it's time for you to go,
to retire, you
should
mean?
go.
I admire the man.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's a bad judge at all. I'm just saying he fell asleep behind.
It's kind of like
on the bench.
Ruth,
You know what, he's
Ruth
human.
Bader Ginsburg. She used to retire.
No one's perfect.
That's true, but that's to me in my perspective. I think that's time for you to say, well, maybe I should step aside and let.
Well, maybe it was
A new penny come.
Could have been a reaction to some medication he was taking.
A lot.
You never know.
Oh, more than once? It's more than once?
But there's all kinds of factors you got to take into consideration. You know, being in the courtroom, especially in justice, everything is repetitive.
I know.
Yeah.
Day after day after day, you're hearing the same
crap
bullshit.
by different people.
Exactly.
Sometimes the same people.
Yeah, too.
So how long were you working for Judge Mosley? Because I saw that you wrote
I
about
worked
Judge
17 and a half years,
just for him,
just for him alone.
and then you worked for other judges after that?
No, I elected to become, I could have worked for another justice of the peace, but it didn't work out for certain reasons that I might get into later. But I decided to go with the administrative end of the Marshal's division and work the gate and fill in when other marshals and bailiffs went on vacation or
Or sick
called in
or whatever?
sick.
Okay.
But a lot of that, I was requested because of the experience I had. I've done dozens of capital murder trials.
Oh,
I've dealt
really?
with the Hells Angels, that big thing in
The Laughlin River.
Laughlin. Oh, and you were in the courtroom for that one?
Oh, I had to handle the whole thing by myself because over here we had the Hells Angels, and I mean the hierarchy of the Hells Angels, and they're expensive mouthpieces. And then in the jury
What was it?
oh, they were all expensive. But over here we had the Mongols,
Mongols, yeah.
and I treated them just like I would treat you.
Regular person, yeah.
Right? And I gave them respect.
Until they
and
give you a reason not to.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
But at one point, the Mongols, the whole crew that's probably in this area, I'm not sure if some came in from Cali, decided to come down to the courthouse to pay a visit to the proceedings. And this is in the middle of this is the old courthouse, and we got all the hierarchy and their attorneys in the courtroom, and there's about 30, 40 Mongols out in the hallway, just making noises and all
Was it a
kinds.
circus?
It was a very dangerous situation.
30, 40 Mongols.
I was the only one there, and for the most
In
part.
uniform?
There was no corrections officers there because they were all out of custody.
Yeah.
So
they were all on bail,
I called for backup. I explained the situation.
Why do you have to call for backup? Shouldn't they know that 30, 40 Mongols
Right?
outside that courtroom, we need to get Tom some backup?
I don't. I'm not gonna say as to what's going through other people's minds, but we got back up there. They called in probably every unit they could find, and they had a corridor of Metro officers from the second floor, Department 14, all the way out to the front door.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
To escort the Hells Angels out of the building so nothing would occur.
Right.
And that's what happened. And the hierarchy was given a stern admonishment from Judge Mosley that we ain't gonna have that kind of,
Right.
and they went through the motions, the pre-trial motions, the request for dismissals and challenging evidence, when you got videotape of somebody, taking a wrench or a hammer just right on the head as the guy walks past, a slot machine, and then the knifing, and it was all out there.
That's all part of deadly force, wrench to the head.
Deadly force, that's attempt murder in my book. I mean, when you take a blunt instrument and strike somebody in the skull, that's attempt murder.
Yeah.
Your intent was to do bodily harm at a minimum. So eventually, I don't know how the case resolved, but with all them high-priced attorneys, they worked it out.
I bet you they did.
And from then on, I took every kind of seminar I could on OGMs, outlaw motorcycle gangs, to make sure that if I ever had any encounters with them in the future, that I would know what the hell I was doing, and try not to get myself in harm's way, because they hate law enforcement.
Let me just move this along a little bit faster. So, what you're no longer a courtroom marshal
No, I was.
now.
No, when I went to the administrative end of the courts, I was under the supervision of the court administrator, not Judge Mosley, because he retired.
So he retired.
You retired, so you had to go somewhere else.
I had to work for administration.
Okay. What happened?
Well, I did another year or so at the gate, filling in for Judge Silver, Judge Levitt, Judge Blunt, the other Hells Angels trial, which was
In front of Villani?
Villani. Oh, he's probably the one of the weakest judges they have in that building.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Then something just came up. His case, his ruling was overruled with the Alexis Plunkett case, the one that brought the cell phone.
Supreme Court overruled it.
The Supreme Court overruled him unanimously.
Yeah, I don't hold him in high regard in the least. Okay, and I usually don't talk bad.
Right.
Talk bad. It's my
Talk bad about the judges?
Talk bad about the judges.
I talk bad about the judges.
But to some of these judges, some
if they're bad, I do give props
But
where
the ones
props
that are
is.
good-
But over the 17-year
Right.
period
So
that
you've
I
seen a
got
lot
to work
then.
for Judge Mosley, I met a lot of attorneys who became judges.
Right.
And when
Like Abby Silva, Melanie Tobias,
they were already
Michelle
there.
Levitt,
Michelle Levitt, she came in on the coattails
Jennifer
of the father.
Tagliati.
She was there prior to me coming on in justice court, but I was aware of those three when obviously they all stood out because they were very. At the time, I thought they were very good at their jobs, and they were actually very nice looking women. So that kind of stuff.
That's a compliment.
That
kind of stuff.
There's nothing wrong with a good-looking judge.
Yeah.
No, they were deputy district attorneys at the time.
Okay.
Since then, Judge Tagliati, I mean, at the time she became a justice of the peace. I mean, I wouldn't say we were like this, but I mean, we communicated very well.
I wanna get back to your situation that caused your exiting of the craft.
When he went to the administrative
Yeah, when
side.
you went to the administrative side.
Okay,
Because you weren't ready to retire, were you?
no, I wanted to put in a few more years.
Okay.
But it all started with the court administrator,
Right.
Lieutenant Moody.
Right.
When Lisa Colonna, our sergeant, went on vacation, I was asked to fill in her stead for 2 weeks. And I said, okay, no problem. There was a briefing prior to the briefing of the full officers briefing, the supervisor's briefing, which was held on the 5th floor. And Lieutenant Moody had his office there. And one day, no, I shouldn't say one day, because I only had the supervisor for 3 days. Because of circumstances I found myself in. On the 3rd day, I didn't actually see it, I heard it.
You heard it. What did you hear?
I heard
Moaning, groaning?
something of that nature. Somebody having a good time at somebody else's expense. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, a little
In somebody's office?
sexual encounter.
In his office. The first 2 days the office door was open.
Right.
We went
Who was in his office? Lieutenant Moody's office, right?
was his secretary.
What's her name? Or his name? Hey, I gotta ask both questions.
Her name was Athena Morel.
Oh,
So
it was a female.
you
She was a
heard
female. I heard what I perceived as a sexual encounter.
What exactly were you hearing? I'll tell you if it's a sexual encounter. I got a PhD on this thing. Go ahead. What'd you hear?
stop.
Go ahead.
Well,
I
when
get it.
when I went in on the 3rd day, the door was closed. So I said, because that office housed other office space for other court
Right.
personnel, like Bonnie Beulah, I forget what her position was. But I just sat at the desk because I came in early. And then all of a sudden, the door was closed. I didn't think anybody was in there, but then I'm hearing things. And I'm going, okay. I kind of went to the door to see if somebody was in there.
Right.
You can knock on the door, say, I'm here.
Knock,
Yeah.
knock.
No, but I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Because I heard, moaning and groaning.
Moaning and groaning. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the best. Oh.
I wouldn't go that
Oh, it's
far.
Christmas come early in November. Oh. Is that what you heard?
Stop.
Stuff like that?
Steve.
I'm just trying to paint a picture.
What I perceived was
They were having
Some sort of-
sexual relations.
some sort of contact, physical contact.
Right.
What it was, I didn't see it.
You
I
heard
heard it.
Did you hear "Go Deeper, Big Guy"? Or
Oh my God, Steve.
Okay, keep going because I want to hear the story. So this is the administrator, the head administrator?
Lieutenant Moody?
Lieutenant Moody is
What's his
like the
position?
assistant. The assistant. Bob Bennett was the director.
Oh, so it wasn't the head guy. Okay.
No.
It was.
But he still was somebody.
But Bob Bennett's is a piece of. I'll use the word piece of shit.
I read some of your excerpts from the book that he posted, but yes. Okay.
Well, the book's it's kind of in the raw form.
Okay.
I'm going to be working with somebody to
Put it all together.
Put it all together throughout the whole 20 years.
So what happened? You knocked or you?
No,
just
I
left?
did not. I just
You walked away?
I just kind of backed off, and I went to the back of the office space where their copy machine was, and I just says, okay, I'll just wait it out here.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't even wait it out,
Right.
and I was going to leave.
Just leave, right? That's what I would have done.
But at that
I
time,
would have waited out to see who was in there.
You would have?
Oh yeah.
I would.
but I was going to.
I ain't got time for
as
this.
I was getting ready to leave, the door opened, and
It was
Athena,
the girl came out first.
she came out.
And
She
then
said
what?
she told the lieutenant that she'd be right back.
Right.
So I watched her exit. She didn't know I was there.
She didn't see you?
No,
Because
neither.
you were in the back. Okay.
Right.
He's a stealth.
Love it.
Yeah.
Neither one of them knew I was there at the time. And then Lieutenant Moody closed the door, and I went to the door, the door that came into the office, and I opened it and I slammed it to let them know I was here.
That somebody was there.
Like you just got there.
Right.
You
Right,
little
but with
sneaky.
the door-
That's sneaky there, Tom.
Yeah, real sneaky. But anyways, the door was closed, and I went up to the door, and I knocked on the door, and I said, "Hey, Lieutenant, I'm here." And she says, "Yeah, well, just have a seat. I'll be right out." Okay, and he used his office as his locker room,
As a bedroom.
as his locker
Oh,
room.
it's locker room. Okay, send it.
Okay, and a few minutes passed by, the door opened, I came in.
Did you bring in
acted-
some wet ones for him, or some
No.
Clorox cleansing liquid, or nothing?
No,
Cleansing
and,
wax? Something?
He said, "Have a seat, and we'll get to what we're going to brief the deputies about in a second." A few minutes later, Athena comes back. She goes, "Hi, Tom. How you doing?"
Yeah.
We were all close friends.
Right.
And she goes, "Can I get you a cup of coffee?" I said,
It
"No,
wasn't that close because they didn't invite you, so it wasn't that close.
I
no."
didn't even know he was there. Stop.
So at the time, I'm just like, okay, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
So I just played it off.
Right.
And I had to have time to absorb what I had just transpired. So, we went down, we briefed the regular deputies about a few things that were of concern at the time, and I sat there and at the supervisor station going, I can't be part of this.
Right.
I had to learn the hard way that as a peace officer, you're held to a higher standard.
Right.
Okay? And I had an issue with the Officer Diversity 12 years prior to that for complimenting a woman. And
You can't compliment a woman?
You can't?
And no, but the husband found out that
He was jealous or insecure?
Oh, he was jealous. It was Tom Pataro's brother. He was married to Elena Pataro, who worked for Judge Sobel. Yeah. Anyways, he confronted me. He confronted me in the gift shop, and he says, "What are you talking about my wife's tits for?" And I'm going, "What?"
Did you just say she looked nice in her dress or something?
No, she had this cashmere sweater on it with an embroidered thing, and she was, she was well endowed. Big deal, okay. But all I said was, "It's a nice
That's
sweater."
nice. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. He found out, and he thought that I was talking about his wife's
Breasts.
particulars, and he confronted me, and I'm going, "You better get out of my face. I don't know what the hell you're talking
So that
about."
happened 12 years prior.
That happened 12
Okay.
years prior.
So what happened?
So that started, he filed a complaint with the Office of Diversity.
Oh my gosh.
And next thing you know, I'm there being accused of sexual harassment. So that kind of put me in a, okay, you can't be a gentleman anymore. You can't, it's the early onset of being politically correct. And a jealous husband is...
Like insecure husband, more like it.
Yeah, but if Peter came up to me and said, "Hey, I don't appreciate what you did," because prior to that, I heard through the grapevine that before the husband confronted me that she misinterpreted what I had meant, and I went down to her chambers to try and straighten it out,
Right.
and I ran into old Stoney Jackson.
Who's that?
He was a longtime bailiff that was just way back. I mean, he was an old,
They're from the 60s?
maybe the 50s.
Wow.
That's how old he was. Stoney
That's when they
Jackson.
used to beat people
I
up.
love it.
Yeah, he was the go-to guy. Everybody liked him. He was in charge of training, and at first we got along. But when I started criticizing the training,
I'm wheeling you back in from Stoney Jackson.
okay,
I wanna know what went on with your case, why you exited the 8th Judicial District.
okay. After contemplating, what I should do, I had to report it.
Right.
Prior to all this happening, they brought in Bob Bennett, retired FBI agent, total asshole.
Isn't Bobby G supposed to take that place?
Bobby G was offered the job in the morning. In the afternoon, it was told that they reconsidered and they went with.
Why do you think that happened?
Well, because at the time, Judge Tagliati whose father is, a war hero in Vietnam, outstanding guy. Never met him, but I've heard quite a, and they're all first class. And he had a tight relationship with Bob Bennett at the FBI. So Bob Bennett got the job.
Influence. See how politics works?
It was a roundabout nepotism. She took advice from her father about who to run the courts, who had no idea about perimeter security. He knew he was a supervisory special agent. I think he fit right in with the boneheads that Comey and all them other idiots. But we got into a disagreement.
Okay.
I won't go into the particulars, but he threatened my job.
Bennett did.
Bennett did, yeah.
And he's the
'cause
head, he's the director.
Right, he tried to tell me that, I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that, and I'm going,
Well, didn't he threaten your job when there was a suspicious package outside
Right,
the
there was this-
courthouse?
between the...
And then he evacuated everybody down to the first level
And
where,
He evacuated the first 3 floors.
and everybody was downstairs. And everybody was downstairs in the
lobby,
level.
which is glass.
There's
And
all
he said,
glass.
there's a bomb. Shouldn't we get everyone out of where the glass is?
Yeah.
He didn't have...
So you confronted
he
him
didn't
about
have the-
that?
No, I didn't confront him
he
about
said
that.
something and he found out. Right?
They didn't... He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
So I left the courtroom that I was working for a justice of the peace that was head of courtroom on the first floor. And I'm going out and I see this whole lobby full, hundreds of people. And they sent out an alert saying that there was a suspicious package and
okay.
Metro Bomb Squad, it was called, bada bing, bada boom. And then I spoke to one of the marshals that were cordoning off all the people, and I'm going, there's a suspicious package that could be a bomb adjacent to the courthouse that if was
A real
bomb,
It would shatter all the glass.
it would
Flying debris,
Shrapnel.
glass.
shrapnel of
Yeah,
glass, killing everybody.
So I exited the courthouse out the same door the bomb was, or the suspicious package was, and I caught hell for that. But I went across to the command post where they set up their little command post, where Sergeant Lisa Colonna was there on the radio trying to figure out what the hell to do, and she was clueless. She was trying to take directions from Bob Bennett, who didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground when it came to that courthouse and
The building.
and the building.
Safety, yeah.
I knew a little bit more. I went through the U.S. Marshals Academy, took some courses on courthouse safety.
Right.
And as I approached the sergeant, I'm trying to tell him, I was going to say, you got all these people in the lobby. You got this thing out here. Bob Bennett was over there talking to the Bob Scene commander.
Right.
And she's on the radio. She says, Tom, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Those are her exact words. And I says, really? Oh, okay. Prior to that, I was always at the command post when something of that nature.
Maybe Bob Bennett thought you was a threat to his position.
No,
get rid of
because Tagliati was his juice. When you got the chief judge back and you can walk on water.
Right.
But at least he thought he did.
Right.
Every marshal that was in that building hated his guts.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's not
he
good.
comes in and
For morale.
he places himself above everybody.
Is he still there now?
No. At the end of Judge Tagliati's chief judge tenure, Bob Bennett took a position with the Nevada Athletic Commission. Got juiced into that job, and you see how bad the boxing.
The sport has become in.
So you're ousted out.
No, he didn't finish that.
No.
So Evan, you reported the whole sex scene to HR when you reported it?
I reported that.
Who'd you report to?
Well, since I had that disagreement with Bob Bennett because he tried to write me up for it,
Right.
For the bomb stuff.
I
okay.
figured I couldn't follow the normal chain of command, so I went to the Human Resources Director, Mr.
HR.
Ed May,
Right.
and I handed him the statement that I wrote about what I observed.
Right. With the moaning and groaning in Moody's office.
Yes.
I don't think I was that. I got the complaint. I don't think I was that specific.
Right.
But I closed the door, I sat down, and I showed him, and he's looking at it, and you can tell by his expression on his face that, shit.
Right.
Okay. He says, well, I got to bring this to the attention of the court administrator, which was Steve Gerson. I says, you got to do what you got to
Right.
do. I'm just reporting what I observed.
Right.
And I left the matter with him.
Uh-huh.
Somehow it got back to Moody. Well, they were tight.
So he whistleblowed the whistleblower.
Yeah. And Lieutenant Moody then
Figured you were a threat.
he started writing me up for really stupid stuff.
Okay, so now they're on a mission to get rid of
To justify, yeah.
Tom Knickmeyer.
Right, because after what I experienced, I went, I told him, I says, I can't be acting supervisor anymore. You're going to have to find somebody else because I didn't want to be part of the situation.
Right.
And then I find out through another marshal that Lieutenant Moody, while a member of the Los Angeles Police Department, was adjudicated guilty for civil rights violations,
What?
Brady conviction, which means he withheld
Evidence.
exculpatory evidence beneficial to the defendant. And it was upheld by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
So now he figured he'd come and violate your civil rights now.
Oh, he
How did he even get hired with that kind of background?
back then,
They didn't care.
Metro didn't do background investigations for the bailiffs.
Right.
We didn't really have a structure.
Do they do it now?
No. Well, I don't know what they do now. They got rid of most of the marshals and hired private security.
Right.
I guess the liability, whatever reason, I don't
PERS. They don't have to pay their PERS.
know. Yeah, that could be very.
They retire early.
Yeah.
The
So
pensions
if
are
anything
broke
happens,
anyway.
they sue the security company instead of the
So you got relieved of duty.
Did you quit or did they fire you?
Well, it was quite a long process. I was accused of certain things. The one that was really outrageous, because after I made that complaint, I get this letter from Ed May's
Secretary?
No, his second in command.
What did the letter say?
It was a memo saying that I had to report to the Office of Diversity for an interview for allegedly making, I got so much.
False accusations against a supervisor?
No, they said that I was making objectionable remarks, disparaging remarks toward African Americans,
Where are these?
Filipinos,
Oh, Filipinos too?
and that I said I made some. An attorney asked my opinion about something, and I gave it to her. She didn't like it, so she filed a complaint. But that was the basis of my
that's part of their MO, because how they would go after me one time. I sent some emails to Judge Harder because he was at a Chinese New Year's parade, and he wanted to come to the Veterans in Politics endorsement because he says it was on do politics on a Sunday. That was the day of the interview for Veterans in Politics, was a Sunday. So, but he was at a Chinese New Year's parade on a Sunday, so I called him on it, and then I said, once you let the Chinese fight your battles next time when you want to get your freedom, and he sent all those emails to Glenn Cook, and all of a sudden, Steve Sanson hate Asians.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
See how they spin that?
Oh yeah. They actually.
So I'm feeling you.
What really amazed me was the part about that I asked the girl if she was Jewish because she looked Jewish.
What's wrong with that?
First of all, it doesn't make sense. Are you Jewish?
No.
Yeah, it's a
Well, you
simple
look
question.
Jewish.
It's a simple question.
I mean,
Your opinion and the question.
No, I didn't do it. They were piling on.
You didn't do it.
No,
They were making everything up possible.
They were soliciting complaints, race-based, any kind of base complaint.
To try to oust you.
To make me look bad.
Right.
And I went to that interview, and under 289, which I was entitled to, if you're going to discipline an officer, you better bring forth the
Evidence?
Right, the documentations, the interviews, everything else, complete violation. that office is a joke. Teresa Scoopy is a joke. I had another incident with that office, but I won't go into it. But no matter what I said, if I said something, I at one time I got into an argument with a court clerk, and she called me every name in the book. I mean, every name in the book.
Handsome, big guy, stud muffin. Not those
quite.
names?
Not those names. So I turned around and I said, you're nothing but a big fat C word.
You spelled the C word? That's like the worst.
As I walked out, okay? When asked,
Did you call her a clown for real?
yeah. When asked, I said, yeah, I said it.
Right.
In hindsight, I should have had more restraint.
More self-control,
Right,
yeah.
Right. But I was so furious at being called these names.
Right.
And she
You had enough.
The court clerk was there to cause friction within the department, and that's another whole long story.
Right.
So anytime that I was asked a question about my behavior,